What is good, y'all? Welcome back to the airport. Welcome back to a brand new video, man. Guys, I don't even want to make this video because this is like the point where I'm like, yo, like, this is when you like sound the alarm bells. Like, because I know for the most part the season has been pretty solid, but this is, I think, the lowest point that we've reached in the season so far as a team. And I really didn't want it to come to this point, but we're going to have to just talk about everything that's just going on because there's a lot. The list is long, so buckle up, stick around till the end of the video. Make sure you guys leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Any opinions you guys have, fire away in the comment section. I want to read everything. If you guys have any opinions about the team, players, bro, it can be the water boy for all I care. Just fire away any opinions that you have on anybody associated with this team. Because it's not looking good right now. And honestly, bro, I was happy. This was supposed to be a good day for me personally, because I'm a Lions fan, and the Lions won, and they went to the NFC Championship game, or they're going to the NFC Championship game against the Niners, and I was like, yo, I was hyped. The Heat were the next thing that was on. I was like, let me turn on this game. Please do not let me down, Heat. Boom, 20-point loss to Orlando. Orlando is not bad. Orlando's been playing well this season, but they're the 8th seed. We're really losing by 20 to them. Like, I just can't even. I can't even like put into words the disappointment that I have with this team right now. But that's what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to put that into words, and we're gonna have to talk about the list of issues that I'm seeing with this team right now. So obviously, there's a lot of issues. Number one, we just cannot score the ball. We can't. Leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below your thoughts. Again, if I didn't say that, I'm sorry. But yeah, we can't score the ball. We cannot score the ball at all. Our offensive rating, or our points per game, is at 26th, which is probably going to go down to 26. It was 26th before this game. This game we scored 87 points. 87 points. If a team is scoring 87 points in 2024, bro, like, something is just fundamentally wrong. People score 87 points in a half sometimes in today's game. Maybe not, all the time, but it has happened before. I think the Patriots have scored that many points in a half this season. If not a half, they definitely hit that mark in the third quarter. And we scored 87 total points. Now, the Magic are a good defensive team. But this says way more about our offense, because our offense has been terrible in a few games. Okay, we cracked 100 against Atlanta, but 108 is not even like that much in this league either. Like 111 is our points per game average right now, and that is 26. So 108 is pretty much last in the league. Against Toronto, it was under 100 as well, 97. Against Brooklyn, it was 96. Against Charlotte, even though we locked up that game, it was 104. So like, we just aren't able to score the ball. Like, we suck at scoring. Like, we are just so inept at putting the ball in the basket. We are locking up. I'll give them that. If there's one positive, we are putting the clamps on and holding opponents to a pretty good mark defensively. I think our points allowed per game is 5th in the NBA. So, I mean, we're doing our thing defensively. I don't think defense is the issue at all. Now, when we weren't healthy, obviously the defense was struggling, but when with Bam and Jimmy and everybody back, we're looking good defensively. We can't rebound. We're 25th in rebounds per game. And our offense is entirely reliant on threes and free throws, because we're 8th in three-point percentage. We were actually number 1. Our three-point percentage dipped after some of our offensive performances, and 4th in free throw percentage. So we are knocking our free throws down and somewhat knocking our threes down, and that's the reason we've been scoring. Everything besides that has been absolutely terrible this season. Another reason why this is so shocking and concerning to me is that we are the most healthy that we have been all year. And The only guy that we're missing is Jaime Jaquez, and Jaquez is good. Don't get me wrong, Jaquez is a good player, and he's been really good this season for us. He's one of the Rookie of the Year candidates, but let's just be honest, bro. Like, he's not LeBron James. He's not Kevin Durant. Like, losing him shouldn't make you go from a good team to the worst team in the NBA, because that's what we would play like without him. So I think it's way more than just that. Obviously him being out is a part, and we would probably look better without him because, nobody's cutting to the basket now. Jaquez used to be one of the best. I think Jaquez was the best cutter on this team. But without him, like, nobody's moving off the ball and cutting to the basket. I think Duncan has a couple of times, but that's it. I think Jaquez is a part of why we are struggling, but he's definitely not the whole reason. There's a lot more to it. The Kyle Lowry situation is a big question mark and a cloud that you don't want to have over this team going into the playoffs. You need to settle that situation. I don't know how that's going to get settled, because he's out here talking about how he hopes that one game bench thing was just temporary. Well, too bad, Kyle. You just got benched tonight again, and you put up an absolute dud. I think you had 2 points. 2 points on 1 for 9 shooting, 0 for 6 from 3, and you want to start on this team? You in the last I don't know how many ever games. I think it was a pretty big sample size. Maybe it was the last like 6 or 7 games. He's been shooting 7% from 3, and you want to be a starter? Come on, bro. This guy. Sometimes this guy pisses me off. I don't want to make this about Kyle Lowry because I made the last video about Kyle Lowry, but bro, people are out here talking about, oh, this is unfair and he's a scapegoat. Bro, this is completely justified. I'm not saying he should be the only one who should be blamed, but he should get the blame for a lot of it. Like, maybe not a lot of it, but he definitely deserves some of the blame. Definitely, bro. This dude is 37 years old. He's pretty much washed at this point. Like, he doesn't bring anything to the table on the basketball floor. He's a leader who hustles, and that's about it. He throws his body around, and people, say, oh, he culture this, that. Bro, like what can this guy do on the floor? He doesn't make shots. He doesn't shoot shots. Like, he can't defend me. Like, Kyle Lowry is he's just not it. And the fact that he had the audacity to say he wants to be a starter after putting up 2 points tonight and whatever he put up last game is ridiculous. So you got him saying that. You got the team benching him. Spo saying it's not an internal issue. He showed up late after Toronto. He missed shoot around on Friday. There's a lot of issues going around. Okay, I don't even know if it's issues, but there's something going on there. It's obviously not being publicized because the Heat don't publicize anything, but they have something going on there. Nobody can tell me that the locker room, everybody is, just laughing and smiling right now. Obviously they're not because we're losing, but even deeper than that, the Kyle Lowry situation, there's definitely something going on there. And I know he's Jimmy's boy and stuff like that, but bro, no, that has to be resolved. Obviously, I don't want him to be on the team. I think he should be traded. Not only because I just don't think he's good enough, but also because I think he is the biggest contract that can be traded on this team, and he's an expiring deal. So teams will take him. If we can upgrade our team, he is the guy who's most likely to get traded, in my opinion. So I think he should be gone. But whatever they do, they have to resolve it fast, because either he has to be on board with coming off the bench if he's not getting traded, or they have to, they have to figure that out. Him and the team have to figure that out. Something has to change with him because, he's not happy as his, with his role off the bench. They want him to come off the bench. They don't want him to start because he's looked terrible as a starter. I want him to be traded. The fans, most of them want him to be traded. There's a lot that needs to be figured out with him. Hero. Hero is just he's good. He's very good. He's just inconsistent, bro. Super inconsistent. Like, the problem with him is that he's getting thrust into this role that he's not ready for. He's not a number one option. Why is he taking the most shots on this team? Why? Somebody tell me why Tyler Hero is taking so many shots. Jimmy's shooting 10 shots a game. Jimmy Butler is shooting 10 shots a game. Well, tonight he didn't even attempt that many, but I'm talking about just in general, because I thought Bam was good tonight. He scored. He attempted the most shots. But Hero, you can clearly tell they're trying to make him the number one option. They're trying to make him the focal point of the offense. Not focal point as far as like, you know, posting up and stuff like that. I'm talking about like he has the ball in his hands more than anybody on this team on the offensive end. Like there's times where I'm like, bro, are we forgetting who the best player on this team is? I understand he doesn't care about the regular season, but 10 shots for Jimmy. The shot distribution is crazy because last game Hero took like 19 and Jimmy took 10. Like, and this isn't just on Hero, this is on the whole team because they're putting Hero into a role that he's not ready for. He's not a number one option. Please stop playing him like he's a number one option. If you want him to be a number one option, please go trade him to Detroit right now, because he cannot be a number one option in Miami. He's not ready. We're trying to compete for a championship and you're telling me Tyler Hero is the number one option? No team is winning a championship with that. You know, and obviously in the playoffs, I get it. It's different. Jimmy's going to turn up, blah, blah, blah. But you can already tell the fit is clunky with the three of them, with Jimmy, Bam, and Hero. They'll get their points, you know, at times. Like in the Atlanta game, they were getting their points. But the problem is Bam and Jimmy operate in the exact same area. So you need an absolute killer from all three levels. You need somebody who can, you know, not only shoot the three, but create shots for both of them. There's not one person on this team who's throwing Bam lobs. Like I don't see a guy who's, you know, being that floor general for Bam. It was supposed to be Kyle. Kyle is not doing that. So Bam isn't getting fed. That's your center, who's as athletic as any center in the NBA. You know, Jimmy is not a non-factor, but he's not as much of a factor as he is in the playoffs right now. So you need a guy who's going to bail you out. You need a guy who's going to just take over the game, because Bam and Jimmy are limited offensively. They are mid-range and in. You're not having, I mean, again, I don't want to keep saying this about Jimmy. In the playoffs, we're not talking about the playoffs. I'm talking about right now. In the playoffs, yeah, he can turn into something crazy. But I'm talking about for 82 games, Jimmy Butler, for most of them, is a mid-range and in player. He's not going to create shots for himself too much. He's not going to take too many shots. He's going to defer a lot. He's going to let the role players shoot. Bam, he's going to get his shots, but a lot of them are just mid-range and in. He's a center. He's not going to be dominating unless you're Embiid or Jokic from all three levels like that. So you need a guy who's going to just fill it up offensively next to them. You need a guy who's going to just be a go-getter. Now, obviously, they've had chances to trade for players like that, and they just didn't do it. Now we're past that. You know, we can't go and harp about that now, because that's done. That's in the past. You know, we can't be talking about all that. But what I'm trying to say is, Hero is supposed to, you know, not supposed to, but he's made out to be that guy now for this team. That, okay, if everything fails, go to Hero and try to get him to create something. And he's just not able to, because he's just not there yet. His ball handling is not there yet. His physicality is not there yet. He doesn't draw enough fouls. He can't finish at the rim. So he's unfairly being thrust into this role where he's like, oh, he's like the number one guy. He's the leading scorer, this, that. Like, no, that shouldn't be the case. That shouldn't be. You can't have Tyler Hero as your leading scorer if you want to be your championship team. And again, bro, this is nothing against Hero, because I think Hero is really good. I actually feel bad for him, because he's being put into this role that he's not ready for. I think he should be coming off the bench, because that's when this team flows the best. But obviously, he's not going to like that, and that's when you have problems as well. So if he's not coming off the bench, he shouldn't be playing on the ball as much. He should be playing off the ball a lot more than he is. He is the best when he's off the ball. He's not an on-the-ball player, in my opinion. I think he's so much better when he's off the ball. He's improved. For sure, he's improved on the ball, but his strength is off the ball, bro. Moving, you know, coming off screens, curling, like, that's his game, in my opinion. I don't think he's a guy that you give the ball to and he just creates something out of nowhere. He's not that guy to me where you do that. Jovic, I've liked what I've seen from him. He's shown a lot of flashes, but this team was at its best when Haywood Highsmith was starting at the 4. Now, the reason is Haywood Highsmith is a very good connector, and he's a lot better player off the ball than Jovic is. Now, Jovic isn't obviously way better talent than Highsmith, but that's another thing. You are looking for fit, and Highsmith will fit that starting lineup so much better because he can literally play without the ball. He can very, very easily play without the ball. Right now, they have Caleb Martin playing the 2. What are they doing? Like, what are they doing? Highsmith should be in the starting lineup. I think Duncan Robinson should be in the starting lineup. And I think you got to move Caleb back to the bench. I think you got to put Jovic back to the bench. Duncan Robinson is so important to this team, and people don't even realize how much. Because when he's playing, he is the one guy who cuts at the rim, apart from Jaquez. He is the guy who cuts at the rim. He's the guy who, shoots threes on this team. Like, nobody else comes off of screens and shoots threes like that on this team. He passes really well off of dribble handoffs or off of screens. He'll find Bam. His chemistry with Bam is very good. I think he should be a starter. I know he's been coming off the bench and playing well, but the starting lineup, if we don't make a trade, I think should be, again, this is if we don't make a trade. Jaime, Duncan, Jimmy, Highsmith, Bam. Now, that is super unrealistic. I don't even think that's going to happen. But then you have Hero, who can just come off the bench and score. Kyle can control the tempo. Caleb can play his position because right now he's playing out of position. And yeah, that's what you have. Josh Richardson, another guy. I think he didn't play as many minutes tonight. He doesn't look good. He doesn't look good at all. I'm tired of him just seeing him shoot threes. He's not a three-point shooter. He never has been, even when he was here before. He always got his points from slashing and cutting and shooting the mid-range shot, and he's not doing that nearly as much as he should. And obviously, with the better team, on paper, you're not going to do as much as you did on the ball when he was here back in 2018, 2017, 2016 time frame. But he's definitely not a spot-up shooter, and I hate the fact that he's being used as a spot-up shooter. And yeah, that's the issue. That's the issue with Josh. Caleb, I think, has been playing pretty well. I don't have anything to say about him. I think he should continue as the backup center until further notice. I think Highsmith and Robinson should both be in the starting lineup. I think Jovic should come off the bench. I think Lowry should come off the bench. I think Hero should come off the bench. And I think, obviously, with Jaime back is what I'm saying. I think Jaime, Duncan, Butler, Highsmith, Bam. That lineup fits like a glove to me. Again, people will be like, where's the playmaking? But you only have one point guard on this team, so what are you going to do? You're going to have to work on what you have. And I've seen Jaime bring the ball up, and he's looked really good when he's done that. So that's why I'm saying have him run that de facto PG position. Him and Jimmy can take turns. You have Duncan coming off screens. You have Jaime cutting. You have Highsmith, who's doing his job defensively, and he's spacing the floor in the corner. And you have Bam. In that lineup, I think defensively and offensively, will be very good. Now, that is the last resort. That is not what I want by any means right now. What I want is for this team to make a trade. And in order for that to happen, there's two names that are on the market right now that they have to look at. Terry Rozier and DeJounte Murray. It doesn't matter which one, you go get one of those two players because their asking prices are so low right now. A lot of these players that have been available, they're not available anymore. Zach LaVine is currently hurt. Pascal Siakam already traded. Donovan Mitchell is not available. So your only options, if you want to become, that championship contender, that solidified team that's going to have a legitimate chance, Murray or Rozier are the two options. Again, it doesn't really matter which one you want to get. I prefer Rozier because Rozier is a better offensive player in my opinion, and we need offense more than anything. But if you want to get Murray, go get Murray. It doesn't matter. Their asking prices are not high at all. They're both on the block. Kyle Lowry, a pick. I don't even care if you want to throw Jovic in there. To me, bro, if your name is not Jimmy Butler or Bam Adebayo, I'm sorry, anything's fair game, and that includes Jovic. Now, Jaime is getting to that point where I'm like, okay, I don't think we should trade him either. Hero, again, I would trade Hero only for very few players. Definitely not for Rozier or Murray. So consider those four players in that potential trade untouchable for those two. Anybody else can go. Like, I'm not really too fussed about anybody else on this team. Like, all these people who are too attached to these undrafted players, Caleb Martin shouldn't have been on this team. He should have been traded by now. And the reason that I don't think we're making any moves in the deadline is because they want to pay him in the offseason, and that's going to be a problem. And as much as I love Highsmith, they're going to want to pay him too. And the problem is, you can find these guys off the street. That's what you guys did. Caleb Martin was hooping at J. Cole's runs. Highsmith was playing in Delaware for the Bluecoats. Like, bro, these guys are so replaceable. I don't think we regretted losing Vincent. Strus has been okay this season, but I think he's missed a lot of shots. Like, I don't think we regretted losing out on Kendrick Nunn or anything like that. Like, bro, it's not that big of a deal. You can replace these guys so easily. You've done it before. Your track record shows that you've done it before. You know who can replace Caleb Martin? Jamal Cain. Jamal Cain is ready. Jamal Cain just dropped, I think, 35 or something like that in the G League today. So Jamal Cain is there. RJ Hampton is there. Alondes Williams is there. Orlando Robinson is there. Cole Swider is there. You have so much in your development program that you can just push back up into that lineup if you need anybody, if you need bodies. Because I don't think you should be worried about paying Caleb Martin in the offseason if you can win a championship. I love Caleb, and he was so big for us in that series against Boston. But we all knew, like, anybody who knew basketball, they knew that was not sustainable to average 26 points like he did in that series. He got hot and he had a very good series, but we all know that wasn't sustainable. So yeah, Caleb Martin, listen, I love him. I love Highsmith. I love anybody who they want to extend. They're all great players, but they're all players that are replaceable. The undrafted guys. So because having undrafted guys on this team is like a blessing and a curse. The only undrafted player who I don't think is replaceable is Duncan, because Duncan has developed that chemistry with this team that has been so unnoticed. He just fits this team like a glove, and he fits everybody on this team, and that's the one guy that I'm like, okay, I think we should avoid trading him as much as possible. Like, I wouldn't trade him for DeJounte, I wouldn't trade him for Rozier, but anybody else who's not named Jimmy, Bam, Tyler, Jaime, and potentially Duncan, anybody else in a potential trade for those two players can go. I will drive the players to Miami Airport myself and fly them out. I'll pay for their ticket, their hotel, their everything. I'll even get them a first class ticket. I'll upgrade them to first class if it means we can go get one of those two players. Like, I'm not attached to anybody on this team at all, besides a few, and that's the few that I named before. So yeah, like, that I think is a very long summary of exactly what the issues are on this team and what they can do to fix it. I mean, it's not rocket science. The guys are sitting there right in front of them. I mean, they both play in the exact same division as the Heat. Atlanta and Charlotte are in the exact same division, and they have two guys who would help the team right now and make them a better team. And unless Pat Riley just wants to sit on his chair and just twiddle his thumbs, like, nothing's going to happen. You're going to keep losing games, and you're going to keep having these same issues. So that's what has to happen in order for this team to, get back to that contender level, because we're not at that right now, and we just don't look that great. So hopefully this is a wake-up call for the front office, because I think they're the ones to blame more than anybody for putting this team together with one point guard, and that point guard being a 37-year-old, and not trading for another star, and having Hero be that number one option, which he's not ready for. Like, it's so much that's wrong with this team right now, and I hope they understand that they need to make a move, and I hope they make a move as quickly as possible, because you don't want to wait until the deadline. It's going to take time to gel and stuff like that if they add somebody. I don't think they're going to add anybody. I think just they're going to get somebody off the buyout market like PJ Tucker or Alec Burks or somebody like that, and just call it a day. And I hope that's not the case, but the Heat are usually not that active at the trade deadline. So we'll see. But yeah, that's what I have, man. Make sure y'all drop a like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below for everything you guys have to say. I'll see you later as always.